From the New Living Translation by Mrs. Beatrice Asante, reading Ezekiel chapter 44, the prince, Levites, and priest. Then the man brought me back to the east gateway in the outer wall of the temple area, but it was closed. And the Lord said to me, this gate must remain closed. It will never again be opened. No one will ever open it and pass through, for the Lord, the God of Israel, has entered there. Therefore, it must always remain shut. Only the prince himself may sit inside this gateway to feast in the Lord's presence, but he may come and go only through the entire room of the gateway. Then the man brought me through the north gateway to the front of the temple. I looked and saw what the glory of the Lord filled the temple of the Lord, and I fell face down on the ground. And the Lord said to me, Son of man, take a careful notice. Use your eyes and ears and listen to everything I tell you about the regulations concerning the Lord's temple. Take careful note of the procedure for using the temple's entrance and exits, and give these rebels, the people of Israel, this message from the sovereign Lord. O people of Israel, enough of your detestable sins. You have brought uncircumcised foreigners into my sanctuary, people who have no heart for God. In this way, you defile my temple, even as you offer me my food, the fat and blood of sacrifice, in addition to all your other detestable sins. You have broken my covenant. Instead of safeguarding my sacred rituals, you have hired foreigners to take charge of my sanctuary. So this is what the sovereign Lord says: no foreigners, including those who live among the people of Israel, will enter my sanctuary if they have not been circumcised and have not surrendered themselves to the Lord. And the men of the tribe of Levi who abandoned me when Israel strayed away from me to worship idols, but bear the consequence of their unfaithfulness, they may still be temple guards and gatekeepers, and they may slaughter the animals brought for burnt offering and be present to help the people. They encourage my people to worship idols, causing Israel to fall into a deep sin. So I have taken a solemn oath that they must bear the consequence of their sin, said the sovereign Lord. They may not approach me to minister as priests. They may not touch any of my holy things or the holy offerings, for they must bear the shame of all the detestable sins they have committed. They are to serve as caretakers, taking charge of the maintenance work and performing general duties. However, the Levitical priests of the family of Zedek continued to minister faithfully in the temple when Israel abandoned me for idols. These men will serve as my ministers. They will stand in my presence and offer the fat and blood of the sacrificial, says the sovereign Lord. They alone will enter my sanctuary and approach my table to serve me. They will fulfill all my requirements. When they enter the gateway or to the inner courtyard, they must wear only linen clothes. They must wear no wood while on duty in the inner courtyard or in the temple itself. They must wear linen turban and linen undergarment. They must not wear anything that will cause them to perspire. When they return to the outer courtyard where the people are, they must take off the clothes they wore while ministering to me. They must leave them in the sacred room and put on other clothing, so they do not endanger anyone by transmitting holiness to them through his clothing. They must neither shave their heads nor let their hair grow too long. Instead, they must trim it regularly. The priest must not drink wine before entering the inner courtyard. They may choose their wives only from among the virgins of Israel or the widow of the priest. They may not marry other widows or divorced women. They will teach my people the difference between what is holy and what is common, what is ceremonially clean and unclean. They will serve as judges to resolve any disagreement among my people. Their decision must be based on my regulation, and the priests themselves must obey my instructions and decree at all the sacred festival, and see to it that the Sabbaths are set apart as holy days. A priest must not defile himself by being in the presence of a dead person unless it is his father, mother, child, brother, or unmarried sister. In such case, it is permitted. Even then, he can return to his temple duty only after being ceremonially cleaned and then waiting for 7 days. The first day he returns to work and enters the inner courtyard and the sanctuary, he must offer a sin offering for himself. Says the sovereign Lord, priests will not have any property or possession of the land, for I alone am their special possession. Their food will come from the gifts and sacrifices brought to the temple by the people, the grain offerings, the sin offerings, and the guilt offerings. Whatever anyone sets apart for the Lord will belong to the priest. The first of the ripe fruit and all the gifts brought to the Lord will go to the priest. The first batch of dough must also be given to the priest. So the Lord bless your homes. The priest may not eat meat from any bird or animal that dies a natural death or that dies after being attacked by another animal. Amen and amen.